Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, the Lost Chevalier, and you're welcome to Stellaris, a game that I love. I have played more than 1,000 hours of it. I played more than 1,000 hours, and I think I have a couple 500 without internet, so yeah, those are not clock in, but I can play a lot. So, you want to start playing Stellaris, probably you are here thinking, should I get this game? Should I not get this game? Is this game difficult? Is this game easy? How does it work? Would it cater to my particular needs? The answer is yes. Immediately I can tell you the answer is yes. If you like sci-fi, this is your game. This is the game that you want to play. This is the game that you want to have on your Steam library. Right now, we are looking at it without any DLC. What you're gonna see now, it's the game without any DLC, the Empire creation screen, without any DLC, and then in the second part of the video, you will see with all the DLCs on. So you can see what the difference is. The game is still playable without the DLCs, by the way. Completely playable. It will be like the base game, I will say. The base game is fine. I would say, kind of like 1.0, but actually it's like, well, 3.0. It's different. It has a lot of added things. If you should have seen 1.0. It was another world entirely. This is basically Stellaris 2 or 3, depend who you ask. So, this is the first thing that I want to talk about, though. If you're thinking about playing this game, if you're thinking about buying this game, if you have this game in your library and you haven't still give it a shot because you're maybe intimidated by Paradox titles, or you maybe don't know if this is your kind of thing, I'm gonna say right off the bat what this game is about, what the game genre is actually. This is a role-playing game first, then a grand strategy game, and then a 4X. I will say the 4X and the strategy game thing are actually combined into one. It's a hybrid. But first thing first is a role-playing game. It's nothing else. Why do I say that it's a role-playing game? Simple. It doesn't have objectives. It's actually like a sandbox. The only objective that there is actually a placeholder that the developers have been trying to get rid of since day one. But they didn't, because they wanted to keep that 4X kind of taste in the thing. Even though it's not a 4X by any extent of the word. There are not multiple winning conditions. There are actually no winning conditions. The only winning condition is to conquer everyone, have everyone as vassals. And you can even achieve that and never reach the endgame crisis, the mid-game crisis, if you're good enough. Why do I say quotations? Because conquering everything isn't necessarily fun. It's not. And if you're using a meta to achieve that, even less fun. So, what is my recommendation about this game? If you're going in, go in with your own set of objectives first. If you don't like know about the Stellaris lore, the Stellaris universe, because it has its own lore, its own universe, its own set of rules. If you don't know any of that, go first, explore, and enjoy the story. Another thing that you need to know is that this is not a game you always win. You can actually lose, and losing is fine. Losing is part of the story. My last stream, if you want to go check it out, I basically got destroyed by the endgame crisis, the Unbiden. They came by, the galaxy hated my guts, because I did some terrible things. Thus, well, nobody came to my aid, and I was basically crushed. I was the largest empire in the universe. Half the galaxy was mine, and the other half basically united against me. And when the Biden came and they targeted me because I had like a lot of wormholes and the L gate and all of that, and the Biden were like, "Ooh, food." They went there. I was like, "Yeah, I'm screwed." I tried to resist, and a couple of bugs actually kept me away from actually maybe surviving. The fact is that it was a lot of fun losing that game. Karma got me hard. Got me really hard. I was a slaver, horrible person, horrible empire. And it basically got what was coming to me. So that's the kind of stories that you're going to tell in a Stellaris. If you lose, that's part of the experience. And you start another game. And then another one. 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 And another one. And it never is. Never ends. It's super fun. It's the best thing ever. So, what is my recommendation here? Buy the game if you like role-playing games. Even buy the game if you like 4X. If you like 4X games, if you play the game like a 4X, you can actually play it and you enjoy it. Now, let's go and let me show you part of the fact of why this is a role-playing game, and part of the fact of why this is the best and most customizable game, space game out there when it comes to empire creation, species creation. If you haven't seen this anywhere, never, because this is the first time you're seeing a Paradox game, this Paradox game in particular, let me enlighten you. Let's go. We hit new game. Here you can see, well, my empire that I created. Why do I have only one empire created? I have my reasons, and I'm going to say them to you in another time. But first, you can choose any of the preset empires, actually. These are the vanilla ones, the one without all the DLC. As you can see, I have them, but they're all disabled. You have the United Nations of Earth. If you want, let's say, run-of-the-mill game with the basics all more or less covered, this is the one for you. They have good civics. Basically, ignore the modifiers, I will say. I will say for your first game, ignore any and all modifiers. All the things that say modifiers down there, like down here, when you say modifier, ignore them. Just look at the flavor text, because this game has flavor text for absolutely everything. That's why it's a role-playing game first, and the rest is second. In Civilization, when you basically had the card system, in Civilization 6, not 5. When you have the card system, you only see the effects. For example, you know, urban planification, King God, and all that. You only see the modifiers, the +1, the +5, the +5% of production, etc. Here you have a good and beautiful written flavor text, and then you have the modifiers. In this case, Beacon of Liberty. This is a representative democracy. This name doesn't do anything for the game, but still has flavor text. Every single government type has a flavor text. You can play as them, you can go against them, you can do whatever you want. In this case, representative democracy. This government is representative democracy, while citizens vote on officials who are elected to represent them. So you have this idea. Then democratic, then you have how it goes, and then you have the two civics that you can choose. In this case, this society is a shining beacon of light in a sea of darkness. Liberty and individual freedoms are held in the highest regard here. Multi-unity +50%, empire size for pops -50%. Oh, by the way, I'm playing in the beta of the tech, but that shouldn't actually change a lot, because we're not going to actually play the game this time. I'm actually showing you the ropes here. And then you have idealistic foundation. This society was founded on strong idealistic values. Whether the current government remains true to them or not, the people have not forgotten. Cities above happiness by +10%. That was actually different before. Now it's actually better than before. Then you have that this is a xenophile empire, which means increased opinion from other empires, cannot use no refugees species policy. That means you will always get refugees. Cannot enslave entire species. You cannot enslave anyone, actually. And then, oh, actually you can, now that I think about it. Yeah, you can, actually. You can if you're authoritarian. And cannot displace aliens. So you cannot say them, pack your bags and go out of my space because I only want my empire. Because, like a xenophile, you actually love aliens. That's your whole deal. There exists in all of us a deep-seated fascination for the unknown, an adventurous spirit that rejects the familiar and glories in the familiar, whatever or whomever it may be. And the fanatical egalitarian must have democratic government force, so this is an obligation, and allows utopia living as standards. That's another thing that I'm going to cover in another video, but now we are in empire thing. Faction unity game, another thing that I'm going to talk later, especially pop resource output is actually kind of cool, but the thing is that in another video. And this flavor text actually should like give you the character that you're playing, like the fanatical especially, the fanatical and then the xenophile. If you are creating an empire and you go for a fanatical and then a xenophile and then a regular, because you have to go for a fanatical and then a regular ethics, I'm going to show you that in a moment. The thing is that first, beware always those who will be despots under the false presumption that their desires and agendas are somehow more imperative than those of their fellows. A society that does not see to the needs and rights of all its members is not a society, it is a crime. You can imagine that you're not going to like other kind of authorities most of the time. You can actually, as a player, you can go against this. You can be fanatic egalitarian and be the best friends ever with an empire, with an empress and everything. or you can go the other way around and just close your door on every single empire that has something that is not necessarily democratic government or doesn't have like or has dictatorial and imperial authority oligarchy you can be okay with, and you can just go for it and just like give the cold shoulder to anyone who is different and just declare rivals or go to war with them to impose your ideas on them with an ideological war that I'm going to cover in another video. And then you have the portrait of the human. Portraits don't do anything. In the game they don't do anything. But this is the thing that does something. Adaptive. This feature is highly adaptive when it comes to foreign environments. Nomadic. Don't read the modifiers. It's everything that goes with a green or red number. This feature has a nomadic past, and its members are often think nothing of relocating to another world. And wasteful. Members of this species seemingly have no concept of frugality and are prone to useless consumption. And then you have this beautiful lore over here to the right. And the prosperous unification, the kind of like way you get to space. This is the way your empire got to space. You can see the effects. In this case, like I said before, ignore them. Just read the freaking flavor text. Through its strife and triumphs, this society has reached every young civilization ambition, a homeworld with unifying goals and a path open to the stars. It's beautiful, just beautiful. The freaking text. The text in this game are amazing. Then you have the Commonwealth of Man. If you go for United Nations of the Earth, this one will always found, by the way. This one will always be there. And if you go for this one will always be there. Because this one are a lost colony. You can make a rough estimate of how they operate if they're a lost colony. So, they're the same because they're humans, so same everything. The only thing is that they are military dictatorship, so not necessarily good. This government is a militaristic form of autocracy, with the ruling serving as the undisputed head of the military, which is firmly in control of the state apparatus. Nationalistic zeal, a strong sense of nationalism pride permeates all layers of the society. Then you have the Distinguished Admiralty, the Fleet, and the Admiralty have usually prominent roles in the society, wielding a great deal of influence in political circles. They have the pick of the leader when it comes to new military recruits. Shipfire rate, fleet command limit, command experience gain, and commander starting skill level. It's actually a really freaking good civic, if you ask me, if you are going for a more militaristic kind of route, which in this case you are because you're fanatic militarist if you go for this particular species. They are really into freaking militaries here. The ability to project force is of paramount importance. The only way to preserve our way of life is to make sure everyone shares it, willingly or not. That is really important about the fanatic militarists, and I'm going to go later with the other one. In this case, you just want to have them all under your banner. Vassals. Conquering, outright conquering. And obviously xenophobe, because these particular ones are xenophobe, which means they can purge, they can slave, they have decreased opinion of everyone else, cannot give full citizen to anyone, cannot allow aliens to have full military service, and cannot use refugees welcome species policy, something that I have actually suggested in the forums, that they can actually have that policy, but still receive some refugees in case there is no other empire around to receive them. So maybe, but this is not on the game yet, I'm just proposing it. Maybe if you have like a crisis or something going on in the galaxy, there are people who need to go. They don't just outright die, they will try to get into this kind of empires. Even if it means slavery for life. So, and then you have the Sin Empire. This is pretty cool actually. I love the whole idea. And the stories are amazing too. Slaver guild, police state, authoritarian, fanatic military, so you can imagine also this. These are actually slavers, by the way. This is the background of despotic slavers. This is Star Empire, strong, resilient, rapid breeders, decadent, and quarrelsome, which is super great. Then you have the Kingdom of Yandari, which is actually super great too. Authoritarian, fanatic spiritualist, imperial cult, aristocratic elite. You like the Imperial of Man? These are your guys, mostly. They're kind of cool about that. So learn natural fitting conformist. Here you have the beautiful text that accompanies their empire, which is great. Then you have the Trade League over here, corporate dominion, shadow council, egalitarian, spiritual, pacifist. These ones have not. These ones do not have a freaking fanatic ethics. You can go this way too if you want to do it that way. You can have three different modifiers, three different ways of going things, and the important thing is the intertwine of all of them should create your character. And the character of the AI too, because yeah, that's how it works. Super interesting. You will love this game. Like I say, you will love it, and we haven't even reached the best part. Holy Tribunal, you have the beautiful exact preschool, You want to have your freaking Inquisitors? This is the one to go for. Exalted Priesthood is the one you want to go for. These are fanatic xenophiles, so they will love aliens. That's the thing. And spiritualists too, so they will love it. Then you have Elected Monarchy over here. That is beautiful. Another. Again, if you're gonna use any of this, read their bio. Because you will find beautiful written stories about their lore and who they are and how they work and how they operate and how you, as a player, as a role player in this case, because this series is more this series that I'm doing is actually more like target to role players than min-maxers. If you are a min-maxer, there are other channels you can go and look for them. There are a lot of min-maxing in Stellaris that you can do. You can, if I'm not mistaken, you need to choose like certain authority, certain ethics, how do you say it? God damn it, I don't remember. Certain authority, there we go, authority, certain this, certain this, and certain this, and you will have the perfect species that nobody can defeat if you play them right. That's how it works. Then you have the Theocratic Republic over here. Cool guys, environmental free haven, I love it. Spiritually passive xenophile, all of this. And then you have citizen stratocracy, fanatic materialist, egalitarian citizen service, and warrior culture, citizen stratocracy. This government is an advanced form of militarist oligarchy, where the military has assumed all aspects of civilian administration. All government offices are held by military officers. You can already start imagining how that society works, how the quotidian life is. It's amazing how this game, with little words, because they are actually really good at that. This is a thing about writing. I'm a writer, by the way. The less words you use to describe something, the better the effect on the imagination of the reader, of the guy looking at the thing. Because you can actually imagine more the less you read. Because if you don't fill all the blanks, the blanks will be filled here, which is amazing. These ones are very strong, traditional, deviant, and solitary. I love the deviant one, it's amazing. And then you have, oh, this beautiful thing. I will read this one because I love this portrait and I love these guys. The Kaolasan have developed a complex honor code and martial culture. They were once solitary predators preying on the great herds migrating between the watering holes of Azok. This planet over here, there's a savanna war. Over time, bands of Kaolasan began to gather to be able to take down larger prey. They eventually abandoned their solitary lifestyle in favor, but still solitary though, so solitary is not the same as solitary. Solitary means the members of this species tend to be solitary and territorial, often becoming agitated in crowded conditions. That's the thing of Stellaris lore, what we'll say. You can actually use this as solitary because of psychological needs or something like that. You can actually disregard the flavor text if you want. I actually like to keep it because I like to play on the Stellaris setting and not necessarily in a homebrew kind of setting, but I totally understand if you want to do a homebrew kind of setting, which is great. One thing that I actually want the game to do is actually separate psychological things from biological things, and I'm going to explain that in another video because I'm going to explain that in another video. But this is great. So you have seen, you can read this, you know how they are, you know how they behave. They're citizen service, so are you doing your part? Full citizens and the political responsibility that comes with it is limited to those who have served a tour of duty in the military. Service guarantees citizenship. I love it. It's basically Space Marines. Not Space Marines, Space Troopers, I mean. Space Marines from Warhammer. Space Troopers. This is basically Space Troopers, and it's amazing. And then Warrior Culture is really freaking cool. I love it, because it replaces entertainment with duelists. I'm going to go into jobs in another video, but this one is amazing, though. It's great. Army damage plus 20%, that's not necessarily that good, and I'm going to explain in another video too. Warrior culture. This society has developed into a hardy warrior culture. Martial prowess is valued above all else, and true glory can only be found on the fields of battle. You can imagine how this society will work. They will go to war every single moment they can. They will go to war, not necessarily to conquer, but to humiliate their enemies. Or maybe to, well, take some land, obviously, but basically humiliate them, and then do it again. Because they are warrior culture. They need the war in order to sustain their way of life. Their culture basically revolves about fighting. So they're going to go to war. And they're going to go again. And then they're going to go again. And maybe made someone a vassal. And then they're going to go again. They go to the next one. And to the next one until they find a mighty foe. And they will fight. And they will destroy them. And they will maybe lose. It will be incredible and amazing. This is an amazing character to play as, I will say. Then, of course, you will have the best species in the freaking galaxy. I will show you the best species of the freaking galaxy. This is Stellaris lore 101, by the way. I'm showing you some of the Stellaris lore of the preset empires. By the way, there is a really small chance of any of these to appear. This thing over here, I don't know why they don't have it. I think they should actually give them this thing over here, because this actually set them to spawn your regular empires or whatever. You can say forbidden, allow, maybe, you don't know, or just force, which is great. It's a shame that none of these have that option. I don't know why they haven't done it yet, because I really want to play a game with all of them in ball. And then you have the Blorg commonality. This species in particular was first... How do I explain this story of the Blorg? They're so great. Well, basically this is it. The Blorg were the cornerstone of Stellaris. They were created in the first stream ever of the game, where they were showcasing how the game worked, how you created an empire, etc., etc. back in the freaking day, 2016, I believe, or maybe 17. I don't. It's a long. It's a really old game, but it keeps updating, so it's amazing. I think there will not be a Stellaris 2. I think they will just keep updating this one, and they will even, if they want, they will migrate the whole game to a new engine and continue building upwards, because doing a new game will be just like a waste of time because of all the DLC they already have and they are still doing. So yeah. So this is the thing though. The Blorg are the friendliest empire in the universe. The friendliest empire in the universe, because they are so alone and so sad that they want to be friends with everyone, and they will do everything in their power to have friends. That's why they are military still. Because they will go after everyone who don't want to be their friends. They're amazing. I have never seen them spawn in any of my games, sadly. They have Earthling names because Whis, the creator of the Blorg, created them with the whole idea that they're actually here. Here you have all the thing, actually. One day they pick up radio transmission from a star far away. What they heard shocked them. The sounds of friends, movies, culture, and music. Things the Blorg had done without for eons. Finally understanding what they had been missing all along, the Blorg took their names from this transmission and went out into the stars in search of friends, hoping one day to find the source of these messages so that they might party together. It's amazing, it's so beautiful. It's just beautiful. Alone and nameless in the jungles of Lord Prime. I love it. Well, these guys live a long time. They are nomadic, they're solitary and repugnant. Nobody loves them. That's the joke. I love it. And well, if they ever spawn in your game, they're gonna be fanatic befrienders. That means that they're gonna try to be friends with anyone or conquer anyone who is not their friends. And they're gonna be good at it. They're gonna be really, really into it. It's amazing. So yeah, these guys are amazing, and they were created as a joke. Then they become a mod, and then they was just added to the vanilla game because they were like, yeah, everybody loves the Blorg. This is my Charmy Sanctum, by the way. I love it. They're super good. They're my love, my loved one. I love the fact that if you only leave this, they will give you this one. If you want to write, you can actually do it, and I'm going to show you now how. Well, I think the video has been actually pretty long right now. Yeah, 23 minutes because, well, it's a Stellaris. Then, I'm going to show you the Create New Empire, though. Select it. Welcome to this. All of this is a required DLC. Sadly, they show you this. Found it a little predatory, if you ask me. But at the same time, it's actually kind of cool because you know what you're missing. But, yeah. Oh boy, why? I already have the game. I don't need to buy it. Thank you very much. Thanks then. Well, should I do actually a separate video with this and upload it actually like super fast? I think I should do that actually. Because, oh no? Now I will keep going. So, here you have the Empire creation screen. All of these beautiful things. You can choose whatever freaking portrait you want from this, except the purple ones, obviously. But all the rest are completely open for you to choose anything you want. Anything. You want to be a space elf? Here you have. Mammalians? Here you have them. Everything you want, you can choose. The only problem is that phenotypes, that mean female and male dimorphism, are only present in the humanoid species, and the species pack too. The reason is simple. Look at all these creatures. Try to do a different one for each. You're gonna go crazy in seconds. Because they have a lot of art behind them and they all move. So yeah, a lot of work. I wish they do it. There are actually mods that add the dimorphism, for example, even for the foxes and other ones. The thing is that they should do it. Yeah, I think they should. I think they actually have limited resources. That's why they don't do it. The thing is, and maybe they will do it in the future, but this is the thing. Let's pick anything, like random. Let's go for this beautiful guy over here. What is it? This one over here. Let's go for this one. You choose your reptilian. Perfect. Now you go next. You can create the name, the plural of the name, and the adjective. You can even choose if they will be all male, which means all leaders and pups to have male gender. The pups thing is not necessarily something important, but the thing is that if you have all pups being that means that the leaders will all be that. That's the thing. You can actually choose to have male gender, female gender, or indeterminate gender, which means that they will not have any. They will just be something. You can choose that to leave one in fantasy or not. I actually don't touch this because I like to have female and male. Even though, if you go for fungi though, these guys are actually by default indeterminate because they're plants after all. But the rest, you can go crazy with it. So let's go and let's pick actually this one. I love this one. So, species name, you can write whatever you want over here. Let's put a random one. And the biography, you can write whatever you want from it. The only problem is that I don't know how to make a freaking yeah, you can't do like a thing. So you're gonna write something here. It's great. And there is actually no way to actually go down like one thing. So you need to actually do this, which is kind of sad, I believe. I don't know if there is a way to do it. I think there's not. I never tried to like see if there is like a thing. I should actually investigate that later. Well, you write that, you write the biography you want. Actually, the biography, I will actually say to you to do last. Name list, this is basically just choose whatever you want. It's just like a name list. Just go for whatever you want. Here you have the leader names, the ship names. Ship names are actually not that important. You can actually dismiss that. Fleet names, this one is actually kind of cool. And planet names are actually kind of cool too. You can just choose whatever you want, whatever sounds good. Imagine when you're choosing this, imagine the language of your people. Imagine the language of this creature. And then you just go around and choose whatever you want. And you choose whatever you want. See? It's more like a sort of like culture thing, if you ask me. So just go with it. I'm gonna go for just MML and one, this one over here, whatever. Traits though. This is your first ever empire. Stellaris, just pick whatever you feel beautiful and nice for your empire. That's it. Just pick whatever you want. Pick a resilient, pick a enduring, pick perennial, pick conformist, pick whatever you want. All of this down here though, all the ones that are gray, they are actually from DLC. So do not look at them actually too much. I will say even turn off the DLC thing. You can actually do that if I'm not mistaken. Hidden unknown content, there we go. So you will not see them and just enjoy what you have with the base game. That is great already. Well, you can choose whatever you want over here. This is your trait points left. This is the trait pick left. They're two different things. Trait pick means that you can choose 5 of any of this. Trait points means that if you use industrious, you will go to 0. If you want another one, you need to choose a negative, for example, non-adaptative. And then you can choose 2 more because this is -2. I could go for traditional and docile. And then I have a trick pick because docile is actually -2. I'm gonna go for slow learners. Here you have an empire. Here you have a species. But if you just want to have one, you can go for rapid breeders and leave it like that. There is no need to add a negative if you want. Just go like that. I will actually say to you to pick a couple, maybe 2 positives, 1 negative, just to add a little more of like interesting drama, I will say. Because all of this, even though they're all genetically modifiable, which is like I'm going to talk about that in another video, the thing is that they actually are great. All of them. For example, you want to have the decadent, you can do it. Fleeting, you can do it. Deviants, conformist, venerable, enduring, favorite, communal, nomadic, strong, very strong, docile, tradition, slow learners, everything. You can do everything you want. Just leave them in intelligent and keep going. Name and class, this is your planet. This is your planet, your home world. These 2-3 things, I'm going to explain them mechanically real quick. You will choose one of these as your main one. For example, I believe these guys will come from a desert world because I believe this is what they look like. They look like desert dwellers or something like that. I choose this one. Here you have a beautiful description. Again, the game has full descriptions of everything. Every single thing has a description. I'm going to show you how to access them, because some of them are actually kind of hidden. But all freaking thing has a flavor text. Everything in the game, even technologies, everything has a flavor text inside the tooltips when you look over them. All of them. So, the game, like I say, roleplay first, because if the game wasn't a role-playing game, they will just ditch the whole thing of having descriptions of what everything is, and just give you the plain modifiers and let you go with it and imagine, because of the name, what they do. But they are not like that. So this is a role-playing game first, the rest come after. So, homeworld name, I will hit random. You can even choose a star. Then we have start the solar system. You can random trinary, trinary 2, binary, binary 2. If you, however, you will see what is the thing, because random binary 2, the two stars are actually clustered together, which means that they're orbiting each other. If you go for random binary 1, means that there are actually two stars in the same system with different planets. Only one of them habitable though. So don't get your hopes up that you're gonna get two. Actually, once got two. I don't know why, it was a bug probably. Don't tell anyone at Paradox. The thing is that you get that, and that. Unary, obviously, because you can have like a single star, and that's okay. And then you can have your homeworld to be orbiting a gas giant if you want. And then you can do Tatooine, which is a self-preserved star in the solar system, so you can have some things, some interesting. The Neb, Sol, Ocean Paradise, Void Dwellers, Shatter Ring. There's a lot of things actually. Why do we have all of this? Oh, maybe. Okay, hear me out. A lot of all of this are actually locked behind a freaking yeah. If you can see, it's red. It's because you're actually choosing something with the DLCs that you don't have. So random it is. City appearance, just aesthetic. Just aesthetic. Room, aesthetic too, but you can choose from 29. Anything you want. It's yours for the taking. You don't require any DLC, as far as I know, to have any of this. So you can just go for the one that you like the most. And you don't need to match this with any kind of ethics. If you like the look of the book, and you want them to be materialist, you can do it and be happy with it. Then origins, in the case of vanilla, these are the three you have. Lost Colony will generate another empire, exactly the same species as you, but random ethics and random government, and you will need to know what to do with it, if you want to conquer it, befriend it, or whatever. Prosperous Unification, the regular one, and Galactic Doorstep is actually kind of cool, if you want to have kind of like a super highway in the galaxy. And in more or less the mid-game. Then you go to governing and ethics, the most beautiful part of Stellaris. How long has been this video has been? Oh, 33 minutes. I believe it was being larger, which is great. So let's continue then. Here it's the main bread and butter of everything. It's kind of weird to look at it like this, but because I'm gonna be honest. For me, that I have all the DLC, this is kind of bare bones, but that's because I have a lot of features. But buying all of them, freaking buying all of them. So yeah, this is the thing though. You can choose 3 blue or 1 yellow, 1 blue. For example, whatever you want. Whatever you want though, you need to know there are certain rules in the case of role-playing, quote unquote, that you should be following when choosing one of these. Because it's not the same to be an authoritarian, to be an authoritarian xenophobe, and to be an authoritarian xenophile. They should, in theory, in your own head even, behave differently. Because they have different ways to look at the world. To think what is to serve the throne. They complement each other. That's how it works. So for example, if I go fanatic authoritarian, single voice, a single throne, a single state. It is a solemn duty of the masses to obey those enlightened few who have been charged with the great responsibility of leadership. I choose this one, for example. Allow stratified economy, enslave aliens, and autocratic government form, so you cannot go for democratic or oligarchy. It will be different whatever I choose next. In my head, I mean, you can't choose opposite, of course. There is no way to do that yet. I'm pretty sure they're trying to make something up with that. The thing is that fanatic authoritarian, you can go for materialist, in which case you will be like empire that disregards the organic life. I believe you will be more centered about robots, maybe about technology by all means, and you will try to reach that and reinforce the state. And only the state. So if you go like that, you will be like that. And then you choose a dictatorial or imperial. Whatever tickles you fancy. You go for this one, then you have down here what the thing is about. Then when you choose to, you will see what you are, quote unquote, because remember, you can actually go follow the flavor text, or you can just go and do your own thing. I will say follow the flavor text because it's a good guideline. And of course, if you want to play as the Imperium of Men, you can actually do that if you are a fan of Warhammer, or the Empire of Star Wars, or the Rebel Alliance, or whatever you want from any Star Trek. There is actually a game from Paradox for Star Trek specifically, but if you want to do that in Stellaris, you can actually do it, and there are beautiful mods to actually like make that a reality, mechanically speaking. But for example, this is a totalitarian regime. This government is a materialistic form of autocracy where the state aspires towards full control over the lives of its citizens in the name of efficiency. So you can imagine how that society will run, how individual freedoms will be regarded, how every single relationship between a common Joe and the freaking authority above them will be, I believe civil liberties will be none. So you can imagine, and then you can go for imperial thing. This is different, it's despotic hegemony. This government is a material form of hereditary autocracy, but citizens are viewed as little more than cogs in the state machinery. Efficiency and technological progress are valued above all things. So you can actually imagine some sort of like pseudo-feudal kind of government where the king or queen or whatever you have in authority values efficiency and progress of technology above all. Everything to reinforce this beloved throne of hers, or his. And then you have two beautiful other things. The civics. If this makes the way your people think, this makes the way your government works. Which is amazing. You can go for a lot of things. As you can see, you have a lot. You can go for philosopher king, which actually changes the thing to unlike the monarchy. This government is an eternal form unlike the monarchy, where a strong emphasis is put in the knowledge and qualifications of the ruling monarch. Take that away, it's a despotic economy again. Slaver guilds, and then police state. You have a beautiful, horrible, actually not beautiful, horrible state. You have much of the true power in this society rests with a number of powerful and ruthless slaver guilds. They know how to get the most out of slaves. Can you imagine that freaking thing? It's horrible. Again, forget the modifiers. In this case, it's actually important. Slaver guilds would actually have 35% of your population, your own population, enslaved. Which is actually kind of useful, because they will actually produce more resources. They will be happy though. So you might want to have a couple of enforcers around. And the police state, because we're going for it, to quash any trace of dissent, the population in this repressive society is carefully monitored and controlled by a large internal police force. Imagine that horrible thing. It's amazing. The modifiers, again, you can ignore them. It's your first game. Don't worry about it. Stability is good. Unity from air forces, also good. Unity from telepaths, no need to worry about it. You will not have telepaths. You need a DLC for that. So, you need to choose two of these. Again, forget about the modifiers. You can read them, but don't let that decide what do you want. Because you're not min-maxing here. Here we are not min-maxing. Here we're seeing what you want for your empire to be, how you want your people to be living, how you want them to be behaving, how everything. So let's go. Maybe these ones are environmentalists, for example. 6 of Coventry in harmony with the nature. They are materialists, but they are freaking dead. And then they have a technocracy too. Illuminated autocracy now it is, because they have a technocracy. It changed. The government is a materialistic form of hereditary autocracy based on technocratic principles that the sovereign is sworn to uphold. Nothing is valued more highly than scientific knowledge and the advancement of technology. You can see how this empire will go. Empire name? Go nuts. Go nuts. I will just hit the randomize. Aligned Observant. I like it. Yeah, it's okay. Let's leave it like that. Flag. Go crazy here. Just go crazy. Pick whatever you want. Even Paradox title if you want. It's beautiful. You can do whatever you want. You can even have access to Necroids. This should be like DLC lock. They're not. You can choose whatever you want. Anything you want. So, have freaking fun creating a flag. Aquatic though. Let's go for something like this one. Looks nice. And let's leave all the rest. Ship appearance. It's actually kind of easy. It's just ship appearance, nothing else. Just ship appearance. Reptilian, mammalian, avian, bosque, fungal, anthropoid, mammalian, reptilian, etc. etc. Humanoid ships, they are in. You can have different humanoid ships, but you need the humanoid DLC. And then you have corvette, frigate, destroyer, cruiser, battleship, construction ship, colony ship. You can see how they look, which is kind of cool actually. Citadel, Habitat Central Complex. Well, Habitat Central Complex is actually from a DLC. We are essentially require DLC. Interesting. But all of that. Ruler appearance. Here you can choose the ruler. Name, let's put whatever. Phenotype, as I tell you, only one for non-humanoid species. Attachment, only one for non-humanoid species most of the time, not necessarily all the time. Color variant, that's the only thing that will differentiate one from another. Clothing, you can choose whatever you want. In this case, this one is beautiful, so I'm going to leave it. Ruler type, you can actually choose all of this, and then freaking hair type, which is amazing. A biography for Cell Leader, the sex of Cell Leader, but see, doesn't change a thing. And that's it. You can choose you can choose the traits, not in here. Oh, ruler traits. I was stupid. Here you have it. You can choose him to be an official, commander, scientist. Well, commander, scientist, only 3. For a reason, I believe there were 4. Now only 3. Oh, because of the previous patch, there were generals. Yeah. Well, official, commander, and scientist. You can choose whatever you want from here. Fatal loop. This requires it has start consciousness, so don't look at it. You can choose whatever you want. I think you can only pick one, so choose the one that you like the most. Read the freaking flavor text. Then you read the freaking modifiers. Like I say, go for what you feel it's about your empire. In this case, this guy will have an eye for talent. Let's go. And that's the way you have an empire here in the beautiful Stellaris game. Next video that I'm going to upload probably in an hour, or probably parallel to this one, will be with the DLC on, so you can see the creation screen with the DLC on. It's gonna go bananas, I'm going to say, because I'm going to activate all of them, not one at a time, all of them. It's going to get weird. So, thank you very much everyone for watching. I hope you had a blast. This is the Empire creation screen. I'm going to go in detail how to play the game in a later video, and at the same time, I'm going to go into detail of how I think someone should behave, quote unquote, having certain authorities, certain combinations of authorities, so you can actually I want to kind of like create a sort of like role play book of my own doing. Nobody has to follow it, but it's like a rail. You can choose it to follow it or not. You can go other roads, but this is the thing for now. So this is all the time I have for today. Thank you for watching. Next video, it's gonna be with all the DLCs on. So I will see you in that one. That's probably going to be out exactly at the same time as this one. Thank you very much. I hope you like the Empire creation screen of Stellaris without the DLC. It's really beautiful. It's really complete. Like I say, it doesn't have a lot of things. You might think that it doesn't have a lot of things, but for beginners, it's best to have this than to have all of this on, because you will get overwhelmed if you have all of this on. In the sense of like you are not going to know what to choose. So having only these 3, having only these appearances, having all of this is actually, I believe, a little more manageable than having everything. But next time we're gonna see everything, and it's gonna be big. So thank you very much. See you later. Bye bye.